Hey, what's happening? It's Bill Smith. So I want to pick up where I left off a few videos ago and just cover a few posts, and then I'm going to run back into the Cambridge Analytica Facebook class action lawsuit. Yeah. Woo. Here we go though. Someone's saying, "Hey, trust Sessions still or nah?" And he's saying, "Trust the plan, man. We got full control." That's what Q's saying. And McCabe was fired, so yay. It happens. And then we move into this. March Madness. Public is soon going to know. And what has happened since then is just absolutely outstanding. This is a long post that I've kind of gone into a little bit. This is a little bit more of a map, I think, kind of just a general overview of a lot of stuff. We get into these booms, these three booms, and I think this could be Google, Facebook, and Twitter. But I'm not for sure. So if somebody has a different theory, I leave that up to you. Post it in the comments. If I like it, I'll pin it, or I will favorite it. Let's get the discussion rolling. But they're in panic mode, right? Full panic mode. Enjoy the show. Okay, so check this out. Yes. All right, yes. Facebook sued by investors over voter profile harvesting. This has to do with some very, very big stuff. Now, Facebook is generally pretty good about wriggling out of these data breaches. I mean, most companies are. And no one takes your data seriously. They don't take your data privacy seriously. They'll store your codes in an unencrypted way so that just anybody with access to the database can see what your password is. Just the level of stupidity by these companies is gigantic, right? Then they get sued for billions of dollars. They settle on the cheap. Hits their stock price. This has been played out several times, but now Facebook is under the microscope. Facebook sued by investors, class action lawsuit. There's some really important stuff in here too. So there's potential culpability on their part where they could be held accountable for this stuff. Now there's a guy named Darren Robbins, this is on Bloomberg, okay? He's a securities class action lawyer who isn't involved in the case. But he called the Cambridge Analytica case troubling for Facebook and the country overall. The country overall. Quote, they have potential culpability in a number of areas. Whether liability from users, government regulators, or investors follows, there are implications for our society, given the unique position Facebook occupies in the daily lives of Americans. So, in one other video, I was like, man, we should just really, I thought we had a way into it. I honestly thought the privacy and stuff, I think what I pointed out in another video is probably class action material, but don't mess with money people, Money people want their money. So this is what's happened. Let me go find the chart for you. So they pumped this thing up to a all-time high around 192, and then it just dropped out. Bottom dropped out. This is early February. We're in mid to late March. And then it came back up, and this is called a dead cat bounce. And this is what happened. Okay, this is what happened in the QAnon posts. Dead cat bounce, right there. He actually says it twice. March 3rd and March 15th. So he pointed it out. It happened. Then it did again. Enjoy the show. Incredible stuff. So this is about selling. Around the same time, it says track the inside sales and divestitures they know. Watch for the sell-off events. Now, Zuckerberg sold a bunch of stock. He's trying to sell off a huge amount. He just sold $2.3 billion, and now he's trying to sell another $12 billion. Or up to 12 billion total. And then he wants to roll that money into a protected 501c3, quote, charity organization, which could be anything. It could be an open border society. It could be vaccination stuff for the third world. It could be anything at that point. But it'd probably be horrible technology to control people's lives. So this is the breakthrough we've been looking for, I'm pretty sure. That's why it's a huge deal right now in the news. This could be major stuff. This could solve our problems for the class action lawsuit. And then out of that, we could get the Internet Bill of Rights. they seem fairly related. If they're getting sued on the stock based on data privacy, then, obviously the laws we have don't work, right? We need a little something else. We need someone to face a little bit of a fine. Serve it as an example. Now, I showed you that sell-off, okay, of Zuckerberg selling billions of dollars in stock, and that happened right before this story broke. And now there's like $37 billion wiped off the stock price. And we're just getting started. And then he didn't even show up for a crisis event to figure out how to manage this. And now you got these other regulators, okay, over here, saying that Congress is going to start investigating. And then saying that they have a securities disclosure problem. And that they violated FTC, Federal Trade Commission rulings on compliance on the dissent decree from back in 2012. This is big deal stuff, and they improperly obtained profile information on 50 million users. Now, this is kind of a part 2 to an earlier video. I'm kind of just covering some more stuff I feel like I missed. But over here, they're talking about how it's straight out of Obama's playbook. Like, he literally did the exact same thing on a bigger scale back in 2012. And they used this to locate people who were of voting age that didn't have their phone numbers listed on voting records. And here's more people writing about it. This is probably a really great place to go see a good overview of this. There's so much here. This is such a big deal. This is tied into everything we're up to. And now, you have these social platforms are basically going to be found out to have just been doing this for a long time. And then we're going to have to do something about it. So we're going to need some kind of legislative action. We're going to need some punitive damages to make sure they don't do it again. And this is such a big deal, man. This is like, I can just feel it, It's gigantic. And the crazy part is they're going to go after Trump over this. But it's going to tie back into Obama and Romney, and who knows what else it'll tie to. Like, if all the big name players are using it, there's all kinds of other organizations doing the same thing. So he's been calling for a class action lawsuit. They have just gotten a class action lawsuit. Interesting stuff. I'm excited. Then there was the sell-off stuff. Okay, that happened. We watched a bunch of sell-off, and it showed up on several things. Here's a meme I showed earlier again. It's kind of funny, but it summarizes everything. Here's the drop-off. These are pretty steep. That is an ultra steep drop-off for Facebook. My good golly, look at that. Huge. And, to be honest, I'm not sure now's a good time to buy the stock because the market has reacted and the stock has rebounded a little bit, but it's nowhere close to where it was. And it's only going to get worse. Like, we don't even know how big this is. And generally, I've watched this happen on like Volkswagen with their buyback on the diesel stuff. That stock, I haven't looked at it recently, but it didn't rebound. It pretty much hit a low level for a while. And this is just amazing. So, boom, boom, boom. And maybe even Amazon's tied into this. Who knows? Quite possibly. Maybe that is the fourth boom. I could be off on these booms. Maybe I'm not. But if boom, 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 boom in a stair-step approach, and you got Twitter, Facebook, Google, and Amazon. It's pretty much the evil set of companies. Let's hope, man. This is outstanding stuff. I'm really excited about this. So this is from Time.com, Time Magazine. Okay, it's fairly reputable, very, 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 very mainstream, I guess. It's weird. I saw this up in the URL. Like they subtitled it Swampland. Like, it's weird. And this is from back in 2012. All right, and saying how the Obama campaign connected with young voters. Said social networks are transforming the way campaigns are conducted. Now, I don't really see anything wrong with this, but it looks like they violated that 2012 dissent decree when they were doing this. So it's the end of November, or it's the end of 2012 when this was happening. So depending on when the dissent decree was placed into effect, but I'm sure they did it again in 2016. Everybody did it, and that's the thing. Is like the campaign. Obama. I don't think Obama is like guilty of this. If Facebook let him do it, that's Facebook's problem. Like that, he's a politician. He's trying to get elected. But the important part of this article comes out pretty quick, and it talks about Obama's at the Chicago headquarters. Half the campaign's targeted swing state voters under 29, so young people who are virtuous, essentially virtuous people in swing states, had no listed phone number in their political database. They lived in the cellular shadows, effectively immune to traditional get-out-the-vote efforts, auto-dialing, So for a campaign dependent on a big youth turnout, this could have been a crisis. But the Obama team had a solution in place, a Facebook app that would transform the way campaigns are conducted in the future. For supporters, the app appeared to be just another way to digitally connect with the campaign. But to the Chicago Democrat Obama headquarters, it was a game changer. Quote, I think this will wind up being the most groundbreaking piece of technology developed for this campaign. Teddy Goff, Obama campaign's digital director. This is because the more than 1 million Obama backers who signed up for the app gave the campaign permission to look at their Facebook friends list. In an instant, the campaign had a way to see the hidden young voters. Roughly 85% of those without a listed phone number could be found in the uploaded friend lists. What's more, Facebook offered an ideal way to reach them. People don't trust campaigns. They don't even trust media organizations. Who do they trust? They trust their friends. And people, he was saying this back in 2012. It's now 2018, and the Facebook platform is now like, how many times bigger? It was 1/6 of its size in 2012 that it is now today. 1/6 back then. So I don't know how many times bigger that is, but it's gigantic, 6 times bigger, I guess. So, and then you have the fallout with media, and now you can see the EU trying to really get these platforms to clamp down on what people say. So it's ultra important, and politicians are using it to find the people that don't really want to be found and aren't really interested, and then bringing them into the fold. And that's the easiest way to get someone to vote for you, is someone you don't have to convince otherwise. They don't have a position made up, and you can share the good feelings with them, and they go out and vote for you. This is under 29-year-old voters, mostly Democrat. So Trump did the same thing on a smaller scale. And I bet this is why Steve Bannon left the White House on really, really odd terms. Now, I listen to that, who's the guy on InfoWars every once in a while? The dirty trickster, Roger Stone. So I like Roger Stone, but he's just dirty. You can't trust everything he says to you. There's a purpose for it, okay? He is serving his purpose in saying it, but he says that Bannon just, collapsed on himself and imploded, and I just don't see Steve Bannon doing that. And he didn't go back and become, the CEO of Breitbart, which, why would he? He's already moved on from there. He was at Breitbart to get the person he wanted to get elected. And now that he's done it, why would he want to go back to Breitbart? There's bigger things for him to do. So the fact that he imploded on himself and he oversaw the Cambridge Analytica stuff, that insulates the Trump cabinet. So the Trump cabinet's like, well, we already got rid of him. It's not even a story for the Trump cabinet now, but it all ties back into Obama. And the Cambridge Analytica link to the Trump cabinet, the buck stops with Steve Bannon. And Steve Bannon left in a fallout with Trump, 3 months ago. Which I was saying 3 months ago is like, everybody's wrong about Bannon. He's not going to implode at this point. He owns the White House. It's a big shell game. So, man, I hope you got something out of this. This is Bill Smith. Thanks for watching.